A property in Escondido that has been a nuisance for years finally gets cleaned up.
The Aztecs head football coach talks about a rape investigation involving some of his players.
The White House declares monkeypox a public health emergency. What it all means coming up. A revolutionary procedure to treat AFib will take place at a local hospital.
And if you're a girl who wants to learn how to drive, we've got the team to put you in the driver's seat.
CBS 8 News Live at 6 starts right now. In Los Angeles, 5 people, including a baby, have been killed and 9 others injured in a fiery car crash at an intersection. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
And I'm Anna Laurel in for Marcella Lee. It happened around 1:40 this afternoon in Windsor Hills. That's about 10 miles southwest of downtown LA. And we want to warn you, this video is disturbing. We're only going to show you the moments leading up to the tragedy and its aftermath. CHP says 3 adults and a baby were killed. One of those adults was pregnant. It happened when the driver of a Mercedes ran a red light at Slauson and La Brea Avenues. And that caused the crash that led to an explosion. We're told several people were flung from the cars and 2 of the cars caught fire. Again, a baby and a pregnant woman were among those killed.
6 children and 2 other adults were taken to the hospital after that devastating crash. Another person was treated at the scene. We don't know yet if the driver of the Mercedes is among the dead. The CHP is still investigating tonight.
Our other top story tonight, a property in Escondido owned by the federal government that has been a nuisance for years is finally cleaned up.
Neighbors contacted CBS 8 back in April complaining about junk on the property and people living there illegally. CBS 8's David Gottfredson reports the land off West El Norte Parkway has now been cleared and will soon be sold.
The eviction notice was posted last month, and this is what the property looks like today. A contractor on site still boarding up the main house, and the rest of the parcel, for the most part, cleaned up. Neighbors are breathing a sigh of relief.
I'm just so happy. The lot is nice and clean. I can see the trees. It's beautiful.
This is what it looked like in April when more than a dozen people were living illegally on the property. The land fell into foreclosure in September, and the U.S. Department of Urban and Housing Development took over as owner of the property, opening the door for the eviction proceedings.
The people living on this property are being forced out.
There was some pushback in May from advocates for the homeless.
The narrative about them being a nuisance or a blight on this neighborhood is dehumanizing and lacks compassion.
But once the notice was posted, residents were given 15 days to remove their RVs and other belongings.
I feel for those people. Obviously, homelessness is a big problem in many of our communities, especially here in California. Unfortunately, this property was owned by somebody who lost the property, and HUD took the property back.
Attorney Andrew Pomerantz represented HUD in the eviction case.
This is a double whammy from both standpoints because these people were not there legally or properly. But in addition to that, they're making all these problems and trouble, and that's not good.
The neighbors are looking forward to a new owner taking possession.
Hopefully somebody will make this place beautiful and safe for the neighborhood.
Now there's still more work to do. They have to tow away this vehicle and clean up some toxic waste on the site, but it won't be long before this property goes up for sale. Working for you in Escondido, David Gottfredson, CBS 8.
All right, thank you, David. And don't forget, here at CBS 8, we're working for you. If there's an issue you'd like us to look into, email us at workingforyou@cbs8.com. And late this afternoon, the San Diego Police Department announced it has completed its investigation into the alleged rape of a teenage girl by several San Diego State football players.
No arrests have been made, but SDPD says the case has now been turned over to the district attorney's office for review of possible criminal charges. The 17-year-old girl alleges she was raped last October during an off-campus party at a home where several Aztec football players were living. SDSU's head football coach Brady Hoke addressed the investigation yesterday.
Being a father myself and joined by others on the staff, we will not tolerate this type of alleged behavior within our football program.
No players have been publicly named at this point. San Diego police said today they have served 10 search warrants in the case, interviewed multiple witnesses, and reviewed more than 3 terabytes of digital evidence. Construction of 2 border walls through Friendship Park has been put on hold tonight. Border officials are citing public concerns about the project. Families from both sides of the border met up at Friendship Park over the years to maintain contact. The park has been closed, though, since 2019. CBP says it will take some time to engage with community stakeholders and discuss how to move forward. Opponents of the new construction want to preserve access to the park. No word on how long construction may be delayed or what other options may be available to secure the border in the area while allowing access.
San Diego taxpayers are on the hook to pay for another major lawsuit over broken and cracked sidewalks. CBS 8 has learned a jury awarded $4.5 million to a man who tripped and fell on the sidewalk you see in these pictures. Mike Brownlee was walking in Pacific Beach in 2018 when he tripped on that raised portion of the sidewalk. He shattered his shoulder and suffered a concussion. Brownlee's attorney tells CBS 8 the city was aware of the sidewalk problem starting in 2008, but failed to fix it. The city has not yet responded to the $4.5 million payout. Monkeypox is now a national public health emergency after a declaration from the White House today. More than 6,600 Americans have now been infected in just a few months. CBS 8's Elizabeth Sanchez explains how the federal government's move will affect its handling of this outbreak.
The declaration means more resources and more vaccines for the people who need it. Right now, there's no treatment specifically approved to treat monkeypox, but doctors here at UCSD can use the drug for severe cases, and they're trying to get it approved for clinical trials.
With monkeypox cases on the rise, the Biden administration declared a public health emergency.
This virus is moving fast. This is a unique outbreak, and that is spreading faster than previous outbreaks.
Right now, 6,600 Americans have been infected with monkeypox. The declaration means access to funding, access to more vaccines, and a deployment of 14,000 treatments of an experimental drug to treat monkeypox. The drug is called tecovirimat, or TPOXX.
It works on smallpox. It's actually approved for smallpox, but monkeypox and smallpox are very closely related.
Infectious disease Dr. David Smith says if someone comes in with a severe case of monkeypox, he's able to use TPOXX as an experimental drug on that person.
We wanted to have something that we could treat with smallpox for in case there was ever a problem like bioterrorism. So we have this drug that works for smallpox, but we don't quite know if it works for people. So that's why we need to do those trials.
Monkeypox spreads through skin-on-skin contact, but it's not a sexually transmitted disease. It has affected more people in the LGBTQ community, but not all. Symptoms include fever, headache, muscle aches, similar to the flu, but also can include a rash. Dr. Smith says the public declaration and working together can help eradicate monkeypox, just like smallpox. In 1972, routine vaccinations of smallpox stopped.
And the reason we were able to eradicate smallpox is we vaccinated everybody. And we have a vaccine for monkeypox. We don't have a lot of it. But what we could do is use that little bit of vaccine that we do have to go to the most susceptible, vulnerable people that we have now that are having monkeypox problems and try to get that out to them. And that'll make us all safer.
Now, anyone who thinks they may have been in close contact with someone who has monkeypox should call 211 or County Health Services to get a vaccine.
Well, a lot of clouds today. That's been the story, but here's the thing, not a whole lot of showers or storms. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis. We've been seeing those mid-level clouds streaming in. That monsoonal moisture has arrived. We can feel it when you step outside. And this is the view from our Mount Soledad cam looking towards the west. So not too much going on. The cloud cover is there, 74 degrees right now for downtown. Also current relative humidity value at 73%. This is the view from Black Mountain. Nothing but cloud cover out there, but we do have a few showers that are starting to pop pop up. So most of this activity is moving from the southeast towards the northwest. We're starting to see some showers developing across Ramona as well as Palomar Mountain. A few isolated showers now lingering near Pine Valley, where we had a stronger cell within the last hour, but that has fallen apart. As we go into tonight, we're still holding on to some chances, and once we get past 8 p.m., then that's when everything starts to calm down. We're going to take a little bit of a break before yet another influx of monsoonal moisture by the second half of the weekend. All those details are coming up in your complete forecast. Carlo?
The price of health insurance for those on Medi-Cal in San Diego is expected to go up by $1,000 a person if the federal government does not pass the inflation relief package. That's according to Health Access California. Our political reporter, Morgan Reiner, has more on what the Inflation Reduction Act has to do with health insurance.
I'm almost overwhelmed that we're here today discussing this, excuse me.
Stephen Martin recalls the worst day of his life back in 2016.
I was diagnosed with an incurable form of leukemia.
On that same day, he found out the cost to try to save his life.
My medication was $147,000.
It's why he joined Health Access California today to talk about the National Inflation Fighting Package, which includes provisions on health.
This legislation, which is so profound, because it returns dignity back to patients.
Health Access Director Anthony Wright said if it doesn't pass,
almost 110,000 enrollees in covered California. In San Diego, the estimate is that premiums would go up $1,000.74 on average for subsidized members.
He said the state of California can only do so much to offset the cost if it does not pass.
The money that's budgeted in the budget that was just signed a month ago is only about a fifth of the $1.7 billion that would be lost.
The package can be voted on as soon as this week, but Wright knows it's not going to be an easy battle. Republican lawmakers both in D.C. and California are calling the package a tax increase on Americans.
So the legislation we apparently are going to be asked to vote on this week is called the Inflation Reduction Act. And in fact, it is the Inflation Increase Act.